Top of the morning to you. Welcome to our daily morning motivational message. It is Motivate Monday, and we do motivation every day because it's just like taking a bath. Our personal hygiene, you want to keep doing it consistently in order for it to have a consistent impact on how you're showing up in the world. And I want your mind, your body, and your spirit to be aligned with your capacity for greatness, your striving for greatness. It is so important, ladies and gentlemen, that you are intentional every moment of every day with your life. There are so many things that are vying and fighting for attention in your brain space. Your mind is the most powerful tool at your fingertips. Your mind is going to determine your outcomes, the quality of your life, the quality of your experiences, your ability to navigate difficult situations, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the trials and tribulations, the peaks and the valleys of this thing called life will be determined by your questions, your ability to process, and where you're putting your attention. Where your attention goes, energy flows. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And I am challenging you to be intentional with your thought process, asking yourself higher quality questions, better questions, looking at the obstacles that are before you and finding the opportunities, looking at the challenges and finding ways to conquer that lower base self. Sometimes we react instead of respond. Sometimes we overreact instead of respond. And then you have to recalibrate. You have to take a step back. You cannot see the picture when you are in the frame. And sometimes it's better for you to take a step back, take some breath, and then reevaluate, reframe, look at it through a different lens. And again, ask better quality questions. Now, all of these tweaks and adjustments that we're making, it's to serve the bigger calling on our life. It's to serve our greatest ambition, our biggest dreams and aspirational goals. If you're not waking up dream driven, why are you waking up? If you're not possessed by a greater outcome in your life, if you're not striving actively for a higher level of living, a higher level of creating results, a higher level of reaching for greater capacity, then what is the point? What are you doing? Are you just going along to get along? Are you just in status quo mode? Are you just in a routine and a rhythm of mediocrity? Just the same old, same old. They say, oh man, how you doing, man? This is the same-ish, different day. You're more than that. There's so much more to you than that. I know that there is. I can see it. The question is, are you willing to see it? Are you willing to look in the accountability mirror and understand that there's so much more to you than what you've experienced up to this point? You've left a lot of meat on the bone. You've left a lot of money on the table. You've left a lot of your undiscovered self in the tank. Stop trying to stack up the reserves by not taking calculated risks. Stop playing it safe. Stop settling. Stop putting the goals and the dreams on the shelf because you have somehow convinced yourself that this is as good as it gets. No, there's so much more available to you. There's so much more that you can do with your life. I ask people when I'm finishing up a meeting, I'll say to them, are you truly earning what you're worth? And they almost always, they say no. I say, okay, I want you to take your paycheck and I want you to hold it up to the light. I want you to look at how much you've earned over the last 30 days and then ask yourself the question, is this truly all that I am worth? Is this the best that I can do? And I can see the hairs standing up on the backs of the necks when I'm having this face-to-face conversation. I can hear the silence if I'm doing it over the phone. I can see the pupils dilate if we're on Zoom. It's like a revelation because it is a difficult question to ask and even more difficult to answer because in that answer is a revelation of truth that I have not even begun to reach for my greatest capacity. I know in the pit of my soul that this number that I have been earning every month for the last several months or years, it doesn't come close to my capacity. No, I don't think I'm truly worth that number, Ed. Yes, I acknowledge that I am overworked and underpaid, but what's even more difficult to grapple with is that I have made it okay. I have accepted this number. I have become habituated in my routines and my rituals to this amount of income. I have allowed myself to be defined by this paycheck. And I have built my life around that number and I've settled. I've normalized it. It has become a part of my identity. Why? Because I stopped being dream driven. I haven't even started being dream driven. Oh my God. It becomes a prayer, ladies and gentlemen. When you ask yourself difficult questions and then you confront the answers, that is where prayer, meaningful prayer, can come from. Because in that moment, you're looking in the mirror and you're saying to yourself, oh my God, I have sold myself short. I have resigned myself and normalized a mediocre paycheck. I've assigned myself a worth and a value that is far below my capacity. What does that say about my belief, my deep-seated belief about who I am and whose I am? What does it say about my striving or lack thereof? Because I have stopped reaching for my own greatness. What does it say about my ability to have fallen into a comfortable pattern of resignation and acceptance? What you tolerate won't change. What you tolerate will not change. And so we have to be willing to engage in a cosmic wrestling match with those greater forces that lie deep within our spirit, deep within our soul, because we know that we know there's so much more in us. And if you are waiting for an exterior, an outside force to bring those things out of you, you will be waiting until your days come to an end. You think that some job or circumstance is going to magically tap you on the shoulder and challenge you to your greatness. It doesn't work that way. This is an internal mechanism that has to be activated, for change is a door that can only be opened from the inside out. It is the acknowledgement, it is the recognition of who you are, and more important, who you can become. But you must now make different choices. You must now align yourself with a higher level of conversation. You must now be ever vigilant about the thoughts that you focus on. You cannot control everything that comes into your mind, but you can control what you choose to acknowledge and focus on. Just because you have a thought that says you can't do something doesn't mean you have to entertain it. Just because you have a thought that is there to distract you or put your focus over here doesn't mean you have to entertain it. What it does mean is that life is a fight for territory. As soon as you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over. I'm asking you to be dream driven, to start your day off with determination to get after your dream. And if you don't have one, then have the determination to discover what that dream is. And don't relent until, that is the operative word, until you know what your dream is. And then you harness that picture, that clear, concise mental picture, and you make it more specific and you get after it until that thing is realized. And if you know what your dream is, then you start your day with the determination to get after that dream until you've exhausted all of your capacity, and you can go to bed that night with satisfaction because you did everything that you could do. Most people are asleep. Most people are in their comfort zones, and your comfort zone is your broke zone. Comfort is like carbon monoxide. It is a slow, silent, deadly killer. It is imperceptible. You can walk into invariably, almost any situation, and you will see people walking through their lives asleep because they've resigned themselves to a life less than extraordinary. They've resigned themselves to a mediocre masses way of moving through the world. They've resigned themselves to being undervalued, overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, and even disrespected. They've resigned themselves with the tenets of low self-worth, low self-esteem, and low self-image. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't make it your business to continuously cultivate a higher conversation, a higher point of focus in terms of where you're putting your energy, a more intentional reality with what you are working towards, your life will not change. You will not grow, and you will come nowhere close to what you're capable of. And one of the richest places in the world, it might be the Congo, where they do the coltan mining and there's minerals, and it's one of the richest and most stolen from places on earth. You will encounter child labor and abuse unknown. You think you know what child abuse is? You will not know it until you see what's going on in the Congo to power the device that I'm talking to you on right now in the electric cars. That's a topic for another day. That could be one of the richest places in the world, but I submit to you, as the great mystic Benjamin Elijah Mays talked about, as the great pastor and poet, the late great Dr. Miles Monroe, the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because it is there where we will discover songs never sung, books never written, dreams never pursued, promotions never aspired to, transformations never realized, because people took their gifts and their calling and their capacity unrealized, unreached for, to the grave. A coward dies 1,000 deaths, but the valiant live but once. Be courageous with your dreams. Be courageous with the goals that you aspire to. Reach for something more. It is your time. Stop waiting. Stop getting ready to get ready. Procrastination is the assassination of all hopes and dreams and aspirations. It is your season. It is your time. It is your turn. Get on with it. Just freaking do it. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe. And go ahead and pass this message on because it is a blessing to be a blessing. Let's make a powerful week, the final week of this second quarter, April 2026. We'll see you in the morning.